Hello everybody, I just got done playing the next 1000 hands for the 2NL for the Poker Diary, and I'm just gonna get straight into it. So, this is by far the largest pot. Let's have a look so far. So, we get an open, and we've got kings on the button, so we decide to squeeze. Not squeeze, sorry, we decide to 3-bet. It's worth noting that this guy seems fairly fishy and passive, so maybe the aggressive action means he's got a stronger hand than usual. In any case, he decides to flat, and we see a 5 deuce 3 flop, and we just get the donk jam, which is great. We are obviously calling off with kings because the donk jam on this kind of flop can indicate hands like 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, maybe jacks, queens, discount aces and kings because he didn't 4-bet, and obviously sometimes he'll have 5s, 3s and deuces, but compared to 6, 7s, 8, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, it's just not as likely. So we make the call, and he actually shows us ace deuce of spades. On this flop, ace deuce of spades has 38% against our kings, so he's actually got a fair bit of equity here, but luckily for us we do manage to hold on this run out for a massive 551 pot. Okay, second hand, we are dealt 10-7 suited. This is a bit of a smaller pot than usual, but let's just get straight into it. See a limp, I decide to raise, as you should do sometimes, and we see a flop. It comes queen 10-5, get a check, and we decide to c-bet, and we get raised huge. We've only had one hand on this player, but this kind of action indicates that he's not the most experienced player, so he's probably weighted towards strong hands, but even against that, we're getting immediate odds of 42%, and if we assume the stacks are getting in, it'll be slightly worse odds, and our hand is just far too strong to fold for this price. As you can see, when I jam and he calls, even against 2-pair, we are flipping, we're 50% to win. So, that's just how it goes, and also, when we jam, there is a small chance that he's spazzing and he just folds, which is great for us, or he's spazzing with a straight draw and calls, which is good for us, so, you know, there's lots of good things that happen when we jam. In any case, we end up bricking, and he scoops that one, so we lose a fairly large one there. Okay, now we get straight into the smaller hands, because over the last 1000 hands, I only managed to play a couple of big pots, and now we're getting into like the medium-sized pots, but these have been the biggest medium-sized pots, and it's still important to analyse these, as they are the biggest 4 pots of the 1000 hands, and it still reveals something about my game worth analysing. So, we see a couple limpers, we see 4 limpers overall to our big blind, and we make a squeeze to 18 cents, which I like, 9 big blinds. It could even be a bit larger, to be honest, given this guy's limping quite wide. He makes the call, this guy folds, this guy calls, and this guy folds, so we're 3-way to a flop, which is already very inflated. 9-5-3, we decide to c-bet 1/3, which I kind of dislike. We should really be checking our range out of position, because it makes it very easy to play. And I think it is just the highest EV option anyway, with our entire range. Not looking at our specific hand, just with our entire range, it makes sense to just check. Because when we bet here, we're saying we have an extremely strong hand, and it kind of lets these two off the hook if they're any kind of switched on. However, this guy just basically puts it in. He raises to half his stack, which is going to be the nuts sometimes, like 9s, 5s and 3s. It's going to be a flush draw sometimes, going to be some combo draws, and it's going to be top pair a lot as well. You know, like ace 9, king 9, queen 9, jack 9, 10 9, 9 8. So against that entire range, we just put it in and hope to get called by worse, which we do. We get called by jack 9 of diamonds, and we manage to hold that one as well. So that's a nice pot for us. And the last hand of the night, of the session, a limp, min raise. We 3-bet with 10s. We get cold called from our left. Seems fairly fishy. The guy who limped calls, and the raiser folds. We get an 8-4 deuce flop. Checks to us. And this time we decide to check, which I like. As I said before, I prefer checking here. And we get shoved on by this guy. This guy folds. We have a pretty clear call. We call, and we're up against King Queen of Hearts, so we're flipping on the flop, and we're going to fade the world, which We do. Fantastic. Let's have a look and see how we did this session. So we played 1,000 hands, 1,006 hands to be exact, and we won at 15.7 big blinds per 100, which is a fairly decent win rate. We spiked here, and then from the peak we just kind of trailed off a little bit, managed to regain our footing from this point, and then just kind of smooth sailing from here on out. If we look at our entire diary so far, we've reached 9,500 hands, and we are profiting about $16, maintaining a big blind per 100 of 8.55, which is pretty decent, and I hope to play the next 1,000 hands in a very profitable manner as well. Cool, thank you very much, and I hope you join me for the next one. See you later, guys.